Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is that time again to talk about AMC stock, what's going on right now, and what's likely to happen this week. We're coming off of some very weird rumors on Friday about a new request to review the settlement by the judge that supposedly is going to be taking place this week. Now, I say it's weird because nobody is reporting on this besides one article from Seeking Alpha, but this did drop AMC stock 9% at the lowest point on Friday that could turn into a pretty sharp recovery in this next upcoming week. So we're going to get into everything you guys need to know. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. If you guys also want to come trade with me live in real time, it is earnings season, baby. Link down below in the description of this video. So, number one, what happened last week? Well, a lot happened last week. You basically had all your economic data last week. We're not going to get much for economic data for a while here. Really, the main focus now is going to be earnings. You had CPI, you had retail sales, you had PPI, you had the Fed minutes, you had the Michigan consumer sentiment, you had all of that data last week. And the biggest thing that actually happened that will affect our markets now, well, I should say two things on the economic data front. Number one was core inflation continuing to reaccelerate. Specifically with that, you want to see what the Fed speakers have to say about this week, right? Fed Waller's going to speak. Fed Bostic's going to speak. I believe Fed Kashkari is going to speak as well. You want to see what they say about that because this is the first time since inflation was 1.2% that core is higher than headline. Second thing, and I think this is much bigger, is the 1-year inflation expectations. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart on this because, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous when you actually look at it. And we're on April 20th. So we got to go back to last week. And this is, I think, the biggest thing that happened because this came out on Friday. And you're really going to get some digestion of this over this weekend. So it's going to be interesting how the markets actually start the week. But if you look at this chart, this is the 1-year inflation expectation. You were expecting 3.5%. It came in at 4.6%. This is the biggest jump by far that you have seen in inflation expectations in this whole inflation debacle. Right? You have not seen inflation expectations go up this high off of one report, literally ever, right? It just has not happened before. And I mean, look at this chart, this 5-year chart on inflation expectations, right? You hit this high at 5.5%, like mid 2022. It started to come down. This is actually where you hit the lows in 2022. It was this going up a little bit right here. Well, now look how much it's going up, right? If this was the October low, what does this mean for markets? And you can see as inflation expectations have been going down, the markets have been slowly trending to the upside. Now it's going higher because this is the one thing the Fed says that is good right now, that inflation is not becoming entrenched in people's minds. This shows inflation is somewhat getting entrenched in people's minds. So I think it's interesting, and I think we would have had a much worse day on Friday if bank stocks were not up to the degree that they were. I mean, JP Morgan was up 7.5% alone. Citigroup was up 5%. Bank of America was up 3.36%. If banks performed poorly on Friday, markets would have been down a lot more, in my personal opinion. So that's really important because I think that will affect the markets and it will affect AMC. Now, interestingly enough, as of lately, not always, but as of lately, most of the time, AMC does perform well when the markets are down. So believe it or not, if the markets are down this next upcoming week, AMC might do well. And I think that really has to do with the collateral that is pledged behind AMC short positions, right? If your Apples and your Googles and your Amazons and your Microsofts, if those stocks go down, then hedge funds have to pledge more collateral for these AMC short positions, especially when cost to borrow rates are this high and the uncertainty is high. I mean, let's face it, this is not a done deal. Whenever you have the courts involved, literally anything can happen. And now let's circle back to this. I don't even want to know, fake news, FUD. I don't know what you call it. It's this article right here. AMC dips 6%, apes leap 5% as conversion settlement gets fresh review request. Now, I can't find anything else on this. I literally cannot find one other article on this. So I'm not sure exactly if this is true or not. Cannot confirm nor deny. But basically, Allegheny County Pension Fund, these other firms, wrote the Delaware Vice Chancellor Morgan Zern to request a status conference for next week to talk about timing and notice of the settlement and an adjournment of litigation deadlines pending a final decision. It doesn't really make sense to me, like, at all. So take it for what it is. If this does come out and, you know, become something that is, I guess, confirmed, that more people start to talk about, it could affect the stock, but really nothing's going to happen until April 27th. Any dips from here, my personal opinion, would be times to, you know, to reload, because I firmly think after April 27th, we are going to rally from here. This is not a done deal. When you're talking about 80, 85, 90, 95% dilution, and you just had a shareholder vote that all voted for this, well, I mean, if there's an arbitrage trade here and one side stands to benefit dramatically off of the sole conversion, then is everyone really wanting this to happen? I mean, I think at the very minimum, a revote with just AMC common stockholders makes a whole lot of sense to me. Now, like I said to some people in the comment section, some people are confused because I talk like I don't want this conversion to go through. And I'm agnostic to the whole thing. I will elaborate on this more in another video later on today. But it really doesn't matter to me. I think short term, if this does get denied April 27th, you're going to see the MOAS. You're going to see a violent short squeeze. If it goes through and AMC gets $5-10 billion of capital, I think that also sparks a short squeeze. Because, I mean, at that point, if AMC is now debt free, I mean, there really is no trade left. So, just my personal opinion is I really don't care what happens, but I do think short term, if the judge denied this whole reverse split, that gives you the MOAS quicker than the reverse split. Now, on top of that, you're getting Barron's coming out with another article over this weekend. It says Coinbase, AMC, GameStop, and 15 other stocks at risk of short squeezes. The stock market might feel like it's range-bound, but it has risen recently. Even a small gain can raise the chances of squeezes that can punish short sellers. And AMC stock has definitely risen as of recently. So we're not going to read that whole article, but more people are talking about it. And even this article that we did go over in one of the last videos, short squeeze looms for AMC as stock borrowing rates soar. And that's still a big story. The cost to borrow rates over here on Ortex have a cost to borrow max at about 400%, cost to borrow average at 349%, cost to borrow minimum sitting anywhere between 8% and 250%. Interactive Brokers has the cost to borrow rates at about 250% as well. The live short interest of free float sitting at 26%, 134.28 million shares currently sold short. AMC is now again on the threshold securities list. That means we're going to have failure to delivers. And it doesn't look like we're getting any updates as of right now. On Thursday, you had 1.8 million FTDs. On Friday, you had 2 million FTDs. If this does update by the end of the day, I will certainly bring you guys that information because I like this breakdown of the number of failure to delivers that have to be closed out on any given day, it's likely to get pretty big from here, right? So there's all that. If we take a look at the option activity, yeah, it was pretty negative last week. 14% positive order value on $174 million worth of options. Now, the thing that I'm really focusing on is this April 28th option expiration. We started last week at 9% of the total option activity, the total open interest being calls. 9%. Now you're sitting at 21% as the stock has rallied, right? Has caught a bid from the bottom. And I do think it's likely to continue. Now, days where you see this call open interest get larger and go higher, you're in the green, right? So I think some shorts are going from seeing this as a home run to having a little bit more doubt and wanting to hedge out those short positions heading into it. Now, if we take a look at the option activity, we're looking at about 52,000 calls that are currently in the money, 380,000 calls out of the money, 192,000 puts in the money, and 622,000 puts that are out of the money. So you do have a lot of option activity for this week, and I think it's going to be very volatile at the very least, but doesn't always mean we have to get big moves when you have a lot of option activity, but it can lead to that, and it can lead to just bigger moves overall, guys. Now, if we go ahead, take a look at the charts for AMC. This is the weird news drop that we got from Seeking Alpha. I don't know if it's real or not, but this is what it did to AMC on Friday. You did start to recover into the close, and AMC did rally 1.56% in after hours. Now you're sitting at $5.20 per share. Now, based off the option activity that we are seeing on this week, it does lead me to believe there's probably going to be a big move from here, right? And you did break under the 50 and the 100-day moving average. So in my personal opinion, you either fall to, about $4.50 per share this week, or you could rally as high as $6.50 per share. I think it's either one of these from here. But look, I do expect a big move up or down. Now, my personal bias is for an upside move here, especially if the markets are, red, because that has been the correlation. Markets red, AMC green. So that, would not surprise me. And AMC was very bullish before this. I don't know what to really call it. Before this rumor came out on Friday, AMC was looking very good at a high of $5.75 per share. So, my $6.50 price target for this week at the high of Friday was only like a 12% rally. From here, it's a 20% rally, or no. It's a 26% rally from here. So not too far off of realistic of what could happen for a downside move. That would be roughly 12% from here. So either way, I am expecting a big move. I mean, I just think heading into April 27th, people are going to start to come to reality and realize if this does not go through the way they expect it to, shorts are going to get blown out. I think there's going to be some hedging for that, and I think that is a bullish thing for AMC, especially this week, heading into the following week, which is going to be the court date. Now, on top of that, we will elaborate on this more in the next video, but you are going to have earnings, and earnings is going to be the main story. Biggest earnings of this upcoming week: Bank of America, Johnson & Johnson's, Goldman Sachs Tuesday pre-market, Netflix in after hours Tuesday, Wednesday pre-market, Morgan Stanley, after hours, Tesla, IBM, Discover, Thursday pre-market, TSMC, American Express, Thursday after hours, PPG, Friday before market, P&G. So definitely some big earnings for this week that I think will affect the markets. Like I said, we'll talk about that in the next video. As well as in the next video, I do want to highlight, kind of why I'm bullish on both outcomes here with AMC after April 27th. If the courts approve this and let the reverse split happen, fine. If they say no, this cannot happen, well, that's also fine in my personal opinion. So that is going to do it for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Like I said, if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time as well, link down below in the description of this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.